Hey, it's About Town Deb, ready for another segment of City Talk with About Town Deb. Today, we are going to get a little bit buggy, a little bit itchy, hopefully not. We're going to be talking to two amazing women who are rocking our community. We have Myree Townsend and we have Jodi Ashby, and a little bit of fashion talk, and then we're going to go right into the buggy talk. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome to City Talk. As we said, we're going to have a very interesting show today. I have two amazing women on my show, which I love having amazing women. They're both rock stars in our local community. They have huge hearts. And you know me, I'm all about together we're one heart. So this is the perfect show. So I have Myree Townsend, who is the executive director of, this is going to sound a little crazy, so forgive me, Bed Bug Relief Foundation. Yes, and Myree is honored to have her guest join us. We have Jodi Ashby. Did I get that right?
Ashby.
So, see, I knew I'd make one little boo-boo here. And she's the founder of the Bed Bug. That's a hard thing to say 5 times. Bed Bug Relief Foundation. So I know this is a little bit unusual for About Town Deb. I'm usually talking about food, wine, and travel. They don't usually go with bed bugs, but this is super important. So first of all, Myree, thank you for not only being here, introducing us to Jodi. And I'd love you to say a little bit about how you met Jodi and why we're going to be learning about bed bugs. And then we'll go back into a little bit your history. But right now, I think it's super important to know how you guys got connected from, because you're in fashion world. I mean, now you're in a buggy world. So tell me the story.
Exactly. Isn't that an interesting transition? You go from dressing people to exterminating or helping people exterminate bed bugs. It is quite a journey in between. But the main premise is I met this woman right here, Jodi Ashby, and we both have a heart for our community. So when I was dressing individuals and helping individuals in a nonprofit world with a hand up with fashion and interviewing skills and connections, I got to meet a like-minded, like-hearted individuals right here. And so Jodi has a heart for the community as well. We intersected about 9 months ago. She was chatting about her nonprofit and her dream and her mission. And I went, wow, that's fascinating. I'm on board, and I'm not quite sure why, because we're talking about bugs. But you know what we're really talking about is we're helping the community, and we're helping those that are affected by bed bugs.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And I'm really excited to see where this is going to take us, because this is my first bed bug show, but I'm honored and excited. If anybody's going to be excited to be interviewing you, it's me. So let's go a little bit. I would like to go on to Jodi. So Jodi, we have a lot more time. We come back from break. Can you give me a little synopsis of what got you interested in this?
So this didn't come to me, or I guess I didn't go to it. It came to me. I started a pest control company with my husband about 5 years ago. And very quickly after we started it, we dealt with bed bugs and we dealt with people who had bed bugs. And I would always joke, like, I need to start a support group for people who have had bed bugs, because it is traumatizing. And the longer that we've had this business, the more we've seen people who have bed bugs, they're living with bed bugs. They can't afford to pay for the extermination of the bed bugs, so they just continue to live with them, which in turn continues to spread them, and it's just a vicious cycle. And so we wanted to do something that would help people to just kind of help ease their burdens and help them have a better quality of life again. Because once you have bed bugs, if you've ever had them, you know, your life is forever changed.
Well, thank goodness I have never had them, but I know like when your kids get licensed school with that's like, it freaks you out. And now even with this whole COVID stuff going around, it's like, it's a stigma. Oh my gosh, I have this, or my kids have lice, or, people make you feel like you're not like clean, or you're not like, was it your fault? Or how do you come about getting bed bugs? So I'm really interested in number one, thank you to you and your husband, number one, having a local business in our community. Yes. And I hear that this week, or by the time you're watching this, you will have joined the chamber. That's amazing, because we all need to be together to support each other. And the idea that you guys not only have your pest control company, you have this new nonprofit that's going alongside it, and you have Myree by your side. So it's a win-win for everybody. I'm going to give our quote and thank our sponsors, and then we're going to come back to our next segment. So here's the quote first. So you tell me what you guys think.
Okay.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. And I feel like it says it all for you guys today. It's so, for me, that hit home when I was looking at quotes for community. I thought, man, you guys are a small group of people who decided to take this on. I mean, it shows us that nothing's impossible. That however we think we can do it, we can. So quick thank you to Surratt Law Practice, Crystal Basin Cellars, and Musicians Rehearsal Center, Christian, who's the man behind the curtain, in Sparks, Nevada. So we'll be right back. We're going to take our first break, and it's about time done. Right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to City Talk. I am About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. And we're having a very interesting conversation today with Jodi and with Myree, two amazing women in our local community right here in Reno, Nevada. For those of you who aren't local and you're listening, I'm going to say the quote one more time. And I just realized when I said in Reno, Nevada, this epidemic, we were talking about food, wine, and travel. No matter where you are, this affects you. So we're going to do the quote one more time, and I want each of you beautiful women to tell me your thoughts on the quote and see how it relates to what you are doing right now. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. So let's start out with Myree, and how does this resonate with you?
This is very powerful to me because it brings me back to another quote that many hands make for light work. And our community here in Northern Nevada is very committed and very powerful. When we come together, we make great change happen very quickly. So I resonated with this quote immediately and feel like this is our community that Jodi and I are coming into to help and serve.
Now, what about you, Jodi?
You know, it just goes to say, like, everything starts small. It all starts with an idea, a thought, a need, and then somebody coming out and starting the charge, and then people joining in. So I think everything starts small, and that's how things grow. Like
as we say, together we're one heart. Number one, it's one heartbeat, one step, one person, one thought at a time. So Myree, you had mentioned earlier that I was saying food, wine, and travel. Like, why am I talking about bed bugs? And you brought up a really interesting point that I didn't even get when I was saying it. A lot of people have a hard time even traveling because I get in their hotel room and they're like checking the. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I just trust everybody because I'm trusting Debbie. But I do have family members who bring in that little light thing and they check and they're paranoid. So tell us what we should be aware of and how has that spread or helped with the spread of the bed bugs.
I love that you brought that up because I'm very new to this process. This is a new industry for myself. So I've been immersed myself for the last 12, 13 weeks in just everything that bed bugs bring, the social aspects that happen, the economic aspects and effects that it has. And then not only that, but I was like you, Deb. I was just traveling very kind of ignorantly, like, woohoo, just like, let me check in. Now I'm more aware. And that's what we are trying to do with our foundation is bring the awareness and the education to the public of how do you receive bed bugs. And the reason our bed bug population has gone into an increase is because we're traveling a whole lot more now since the 1990s. So you think these are the best little hitchhikers around. They don't care about the color of your skin, how much money you make, where you live, what conditions you live in. They're just ready to hop to the next bag. So this is really interesting to learn, okay, how do we detect bed bugs?
But aren't they so tiny that you can't see them? Or am I wrong? I don't know.
No, you can actually see them. Yes. You can see them. You can see their eggs and you can see bed bugs through all of their life cycles.
Really? So like if you check into your hotel room and you like, what's the first thing you should do when you check in your hotel room? Like you're in the lobby, you check in, you have your suitcase. What's the first thing to do?
You get to your hotel room, you open your hotel room door and you prop it open with your suitcase.
Oh,
then you
okay.
walk over to your bed and you pull back the sheets and you look in all of the cracks and crevices of the mattress and you look for signs of like little brown dots, which are blood, skin casts, which are bugs, or even just the bugs. You can see the bugs. You also want to take the headboard off the wall.
What? How do you do that? What if it's nailed to the wall?
It's not nailed to the wall. It's well, you just have to lift it up and pull it off. And then you look behind it and all of that. And then that's a pretty good indication to see if you have any bed bugs.
Well, how come you mentioned to prop the door open? Why is that?
Well, if you do have bed bugs, you don't want to have brought your suitcase in to bed and had any opportunity for a little hitchhiker to hop right in. So you just want to keep it as far away from the bed as possible.
So when you done the search, then you don't see anything like that. Is that the only spot you need to look, or do you look under the bed? Do you look?
No, that's the only spot. Like that's where you're going to see the most signs of it. So I mean, you don't have to be a super inspector and inspect every little inch of the hotel room. If you don't see signs in those areas, you're pretty safe. Now, I'm going to say pretty safe because they can be anywhere. They can be in the curtains. They can be anywhere. But if you don't see signs there, you're probably pretty good.
So therefore they're named bed bugs. So how long have bed bugs been in existence? I don't know if that's
millions of years.
All the way dating back ancient times,
Mm-hmm.
Romans, Greeks. We hear about stories way back when. They have been around forever.
So bed bugs actually came from bat bugs, which were in caves. And
wait, bat bugs?
Bat bugs. So people would live in caves, sleep in caves, and then the bugs became, they liked people better, and so they became bed bugs. So back to cavemen.
And they didn't have any ointment or anything to help them. So the first thing is you open your door, you prop the suitcase there, and then you come inside, you check. Now, hopefully you don't see them. What do you do? If I saw one, I would probably scream and go, ah! But what's the first thing you should do? Do you call the desk?
You call the desk and let them know that there's bed bugs, and they'll probably send somebody and they'll probably re-room you to another room.
Oh, this is
and just like we said, what we're trying to do is take that stigma and the shame out of bed bugs. Remember when we couldn't even talk about lice? Oh my gosh, my kid has lice. But now we have clinics that you can bring your kids to and be deloused. We're wanting to take that stigma out of bed bugs. They're just a bug. They're an insect. But we have that stigma and shame attached to it.
So we want it to be when you find out that you have bed bugs, you immediately act on it. You don't go and try and do it yourself, get rid of them, because that does not work.
So what's the first thing, if you were traveling, let's say, you didn't check anything and you were repacking, you know how most of us, I put my suitcase on the bed, even I do it at home because I don't want to lean over. So I put it up on the bed and I'm packing and unpacking. So that's a good time for those little buggies to hop out and sneak in the current bed that they want to have a home with.
You know, and the sad thing is they're so good at hiding that you will probably not even know you have them for a couple of months.
Whoa. But then by then, what's going to happen? You have a whole colony.
One bed bug can turn into 30,000 bed bugs in 3 months. So just making sure you're changing your sheets weekly, and you're just just keeping an eye out. The awareness of bed bugs is really all what you need to do to prevent them. And then if you find them, you want to call a professional immediately, because the sooner you can take care of the problem, the less expensive it's going to be.
So let's shout out to you and your hubby's business, please. What is the name of your business?
So we own Truckee Meadows Pest Control. We've been in Reno for 5 years now. It's been a huge success. With our reputation is great. We treat our customers like a name, not a number. And we want to make sure that we just do the right thing all the time. So that's our motto, and it's done really well for us. And now hopefully we can help a lot more people with this situation and get people back to living their lives normally.
So if you can estimate, how many calls do you get per week or per month when somebody says, hey, I think I have bed bugs? How many calls do you get?
We probably get 3 or 4 a day.
Oh, no, really? Whoa, that's pretty serious.
So, and there are a lot of people that we go to and we give them our bid and they can't afford it. So then they just end up continuing to live with the bed bugs.
So with the bed bugs, I'm still new at all this. Do they carry any diseases or carry?
Right now, they do not, that we know of. So they're not like mosquitoes that, transfer Zika virus or whatever. Their mouth parts aren't able to transmit any kind of disease. But we do know that they do they will exacerbate asthma. So with like the skin casts and things like that. So if you let it go, so it can affect your health. But it really, the biggest thing is it's your mental health. It's
I'm already itching at my skin, and I'm going to go check my bed after the show.
There's stress. There's post-traumatic stress syndrome associated with it.
I could totally understand that. Well, it's time to take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. I love you. I also want to get your vision of how you see the foundation going from here on out. So it's About Town Deb with City Talk. We'll be right back.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. I am baffled, and I'm just like, my mind is blown. This has like been such an interesting topic. We are talking about bed bugs, if you just joined us. And Myree, I got to tell you, thank you, Myree, because we've been trying to get her on my show for like a long time. And little did I know, I thought we'd be talking about fashion and like your inside and out. I didn't know we were talking about bed bugs, but you know what? It's a new day. It's a new year. We could talk about whatever we want. So thank you, Myree, for bringing this topic to the surface. And Jodi, thank you and your husband for the opportunity to hear about your new foundation. So whoever would like to share about the mission of the foundation, and I'd like to know more about the meat and potatoes of it so people can know why they should get involved.
I love that, Deb. Thank you again for having us on. I have absolutely loved following you and your shows and what you bring to our community and beyond, and especially giving us a platform to talk about an itchy topic. No one wants to talk about bed bugs. And the reason they don't want to talk about it is what we were talking about in the last segment about the stigma and the shame that is associated with having a bed bug infestation. And so, number one, we are wanting to start that conversation. We want to have, through our foundation, the privilege to give people the permission to raise their hand and go, I am having an infestation. How do we get rid of it? And if I can't, how can you help me? Next, our vision is to see a radical decrease in the bedbug population that is plaguing not only Northern Nevada, but we'd like to take this business model and expand it throughout our United States and our country. Because the people that are affected that cannot afford the financial burden of eradication or the extermination, those are the individuals we want to help. These are the people that are on a fixed income, say our single moms, our single dads, our veterans, our senior citizens that, hey, they make a certain amount each month, and even a $400 bill on top of what they're making, or bringing in as an income can produce a financial debt, if not a bankruptcy in their life. This is what Jodi and Chris saw for the last 5 years of the calls that were coming in, and the individuals getting quotes and going, I can't afford it. I don't even have an extra $50 to help and combat this. So they produce this beautiful 501c3 nonprofit here. And so our mission is to go out and help individuals that cannot afford the financial burden of extermination. With that, we're opening up the conversation to our community. We're educating our community. We're bringing financial support that our community is also going hand in hand, arm in arm with us to help our community and those individuals who cannot afford it. And then the last pillar of our foundation is our wraparound resources. We are making strategic partnerships here in town with other industries and local businesses that would also be a partner to those individuals that are maybe battling a bed bug infestation. They probably have other issues going on in their life that we may be able to wrap around and bring them some resources. That is our goal.
Well, it's a very mighty goal. It's a very good goal. And I have to, you mentioned the fixed income. I know quite a few people who are on that fixed income. And when they get their $800 a month, that's it. So that means whatever low income rent, their phone, their car insurance, and there usually isn't anything left. So I can't even imagine what it'd be like if you went, oh my gosh, I just found out I have bed bugs and I don't have that $400 or $600, or maybe you were too embarrassed to even see anything in the beginning. And now there are 30,000 of them. And now your cost is even more. And you got to get past that stigma to say, well, who do I call? Who do I call first to say, help? I think I love the idea that you can search bed bugs, foundation, help, and it'll pop up. And then I think people like social media does help tremendously, and websites. And the first thing people do, they go on Google and they put in, I ask Google every day, hey, Google, I even Googled bed bugs so I can learn a bit more about them. And knowing how they know where you are, which is scary. So if you can put in bed bugs help, or what is a bed bug, or how to get rid of it, your foundation will show up because we're searching in the Reno, Tahoe area. And you guys have done a great job with that because you guys did pop up. And I feel like somebody has to be the voice of some of this stuff that is a little itchy and we don't want to talk about it, because normally I wouldn't want to talk about this. But I'm trying to get out of my box. I'm trying to realize that not everything has to be perky, happy Debbie. I mean, sometimes there's situations that we can use our platform to say, hey guys, if you've ever experienced this, I know how to help you. So thank you, both of you, for taking this opportunity to share your story. But I want to go back to Jodi, because you're being a little quiet there right now. So your husband, you moved here from where? 5 years ago?
Well, we're from here.
Okay.
But my husband's job took us and transferred us around, and we were like, we really want to be back in Reno, so let's just start our own business. So he did pest control. He's been doing pest control for 20 years. And now we're just doing it on our own. But I mean, just really getting the awareness for this, because a lot of people, you hear, good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. And
I remember that.
You hear people, they have bed bugs or something about bed bugs. Everybody knows what bed bugs are. But nobody really knows until you get them, like how detrimental it can be to your physical health.
I'm sorry, the whole sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Oh my gosh. I think I heard that every single night of my life. And I'm thinking, oh my God, where are the bugs? Well, the bed bugs bite. I never knew what one looked like, but that's kind of freaky that our whole life we've been told don't let the bed bugs bite. And now all of a sudden we're adults and we have kids, and now we're aware of this. There are really big, maybe I thought it was like the monster under your bed, but these are real things. So that's really interesting you would say that. I hope I never felt that. I probably did.
Anytime I have a conversation with someone, or we've been having conversations with people, it's just like, what would you do if you found out you have bed bugs? Oh my gosh, I would think I'm dirty. I wouldn't want anybody to know. I wouldn't tell anybody. I now am a shut-in. My family can't come over. Even if your family knows you have bed bugs and you can't get rid of them, now you can't
want to come over.
Your family, you can't see your grandchildren. We see these situations day in, day out, and it's a bigger problem than most people realize that it is. So that's our goal. We just wanted to bring awareness to this, start a conversation, and start educating people. What do you do when you find out you have bed bugs? Don't throw away all of your stuff. Treat it first. Right.
Wait. Oh, you don't have to throw everything away?
Please don't.
And that's the beautiful part. We're debunking the myths that are out there, along while we're educating people in the public. There's so many myths that we think you have to get rid of everything. Yeah. Burn it.
So, people will call us, well, I got rid of all of my stuff. I got a new couch and I still have them. Well, we need to treat everything in your house, and then you can throw stuff away. You won't have to, because we've treated it all, and
it's more the problem. Is it more of a psychological thing?
It could be, that I don't want to keep it around, but let us treat it first, because if you throw it out, those bed bugs still have to go somewhere and eat. So now you're spreading bed bugs. If you live in an apartment complex, you're sprinkling them down the hallway and then putting them in the dumpster, and you just helped a lot of people get some bed bugs.
Wow.
So it's huge to know what you need to do when you find out you have them, and what to do and what to don't do. So
what's step one? The first step, you looked under, you watched the show, you went and you checked under your mattress, and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I have them. What's the first call?
Company. Call Truckee Meadows Pest Control.
Yeah. And can you just say the number twice for me? Just
775-332-0604. 775-332-0604. So
now, if you're, we have listeners are listening from all over. What would you suggest if you're not in the local Reno area? What would be to Google bed bugs, or how would they take that situation?
I would Google a pest control company, and I would actually Google a pest control company that treats bed bugs with heat. So there's a lot of different companies out there that treat them They treat them with heat. They treat them with cold. They treat them with chemicals. They treat them with fungus. There's a lot of ways to treat bed bugs. The heat is the most effective way. Get it one and done. Get it done, out of the way. That's the way I would go. If you're not in Reno and you don't have, I would ask them if they treat that with heat. If not, they need to have a rigorous program for treating it with chem. So, and the biggest thing is the prep for it. There's a lot of prep that goes into it. Whatever people tell you to do to prep, do it.
It's serious. You got to do it. Totally understand that. It's almost time for another break, our final break. So when we come back, I am going to be chatting with you guys a little bit more about your story. You know, I think it's a big deal. I mean, it's wonderful that you're helping solve the bed bug solution for us, but you two are amazing women that have your own stories. I want all of us to hear about you personally. So we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to get personal on City Talk with About Town Deb.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host, and I'm honored to welcome two amazing women who have hearts of gold and care about our community and on a mission to improve our lives, to get rid of bed bugs. But I have a feeling their mission is a little bit more than that. I have a feeling that their hearts are way bigger than just the bed bugs, and they have stories that make them unique. So, Myree, thank you for this opportunity. I'm very honored to have you here on set. And Jodi, you and your hubby, big cheers to you guys, because, you know, to number one, to be in the business for that long and then decide, okay, it's time to go on our own. And a lot of us are trying that. A lot of us are doing it. It's hard. You have to take a leap of faith, and you guys are doing it, and you're doing it locally, and you're bringing in our local community members, and you're creating a foundation. So not only did you create a local business, a local foundation. So kudos to you. I'm really honored that you're here today with us. So thank you both. Get my thank yous out of the way. Now, story time. We all have a story. So I know that Myree's used to chatting away and she could just ramble hers. So I'm going to go to Jodi first.
Oh, no. Okay.
Jodi, I'm just going to throw it out there. So if you had, what's the most important thing that our listeners need to know about you personally? Not that you're on a mission to get rid of bed bugs, which you are. Is there something that's really important to your heart and your soul that you would love us to know, and how we can help you with that to get the word out?
That is a really hard question to answer off the cuff. About me. I guess the one thing that I want everybody to know about me and my husband is that, like, when we started this business, we saw a lot of, call it corruption, or people just being taken advantage of. And that's our number one reason we started this on our own, is that we wanted people to stop being taken advantage of. And one of the things is we say we wanted to bring integrity back to pest control. So when you see us, when you see our guys, we're well put together, we're clean. You're not seeing, like, you're not the stigma of pest control of a dirty, stinky exterminator. So I wanted to really just, show people that pest control is actually very important to our world. That's why we are in a first world country. That's why we don't have the diseases that other countries have. There's a very particular way that we treat. We don't just, I guess, just spray everything down. We're eco-friendly, and so we treat things with the least amount of product for the most amount of, I guess, return or effectiveness. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to show that you can do this business with integrity, above board, doing the right thing for people, not taking advantage of people, and it's really been very rewarding for us.
Well, that warms my heart, because I tell you, I'm right there with you. I really feel it's about integrity and being authentic and being who you are. And it's amazing that you were able to find your business and your passion and, create a workplace for your employees to be able to be proud and go into somebody's home and know, wow, like, get on in here, fix this. And to know that you're going to give them an honest bid. You're going to tell them the truth. If they do need assistance with the foundation, if you can help them, you're going to do that. That says a lot right there. You're just not jumping in saying, okay, here's how much it is, what we're going to do, and you're done. You're like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's hear about your family. I can totally see you going in there and becoming friends with them. And all of a sudden it's Christmas time. I totally could see you doing that. So now, Ms. Myree, it's your turn. I know your story. We've known each other for a lot of years, and we've all had ups and downs. And you literally, you've kept authentic with your real self and with helping women and men, but mainly women, be true to who they are. And you are there to help find that real them, and you're help to foster it and, give them the hand up to become who their real authentic self is. So tell me what we need to know about you.
I love that, Deb. Thank you so much. You're one of the angels in my life. And we can count, just on a couple of hands if we're really lucky about the angels. I come from a background that I've had a servant's heart, and starting in fashion and starting with women. My journey has been to empower women and empower the gifts that God has given them. And again, I love the word that you used, a hand up. That is a whole different demographic that I really resonate with. And that really relates to our foundation. We're not looking for the individuals that want a hand out, but a hand up. And it's a different mindset. And it allows us to grow and do what we're wanting to do, and the passion that I have in my life and the journeys. Like you said, I feel like I've lived 5 different lifetimes, and And
I think we all have. I'm glad you didn't say that. Our listeners are saying, hello, you get me? I'm there. We all, there's turns on the road, and we take this turn or that turn, and we think we're doing the right thing, and we think we're with the right group of our peers. And then we realize, oh my gosh, I made a wrong turn. But that's okay, because we learn things when we're off course a little bit. Then we get back on course with the people who give us the hand up and say, hey, I'm lost. Right. I'm totally okay to go in a gas station and say, I am totally lost. I have no problem doing that.
Exactly. And that's what I want. That's what we want, are those individuals that are just raising their hand going, I need someone in my corner that understands, who's not going to judge me, who's going to help me. And that's huge, because in a society that we live in, social media is absolutely wonderful for certain platforms, and especially for us to reach the people that we want to. But it can also be so demonstrative in the sense that you feel that, wow, I don't feel like I can reach out because someone's going to judge me. This is a judgment-free zone right here. And every single place and every journey that I've gone through has been to promote that message. This is a judgment-free zone. We're here to love on you, care on you, and help you with a hand up.
So speaking of judgment-free and needing a hand up, what do you think is the most common reason that people give up, or they feel like they're failing? What, in your opinion, you've worked with a lot of women to help them. What would you say is one of the most common reasons?
They don't feel like they're enough. I'm not enough. I don't deserve. That's the resounding one.
And so what would you say to somebody right now who's sitting at home listening and saying, I'm not enough? What would you say to them?
I think you're going to make me cry because the word of the year for 2023 for me is worthy. So what I want to say directly to that woman, that man, that individual out there, you are enough and you are worthy far more than you believe that you are.
Now, Jodi, I'm going to throw it back to you. What advice would you give a young man or woman who says, I would love to start my own business? Am I worthy enough? Am I smart enough? You know, I've been in the field for 20 years and I've always worked for someone, but now I feel like it's my turn to give back. What would you say to them?
It definitely can be done. And there's always resources for if you feel like I don't have what I need. There's resources out there. There are people to help you. But if you have the drive and you believe in yourself, you can do it. It's, you're just got to do it. That's the thing, is you have to take that step forward.
Okay, now I'm going to go back to Myree. Who is your role model and why? Because you're everybody else's role model, but who's yours?
Oh my gosh, what a great compliment. And Deb, I love your on-the-fly questions.
I'm
going to say my mom. And I know that, and I hope one day that my kids could say that same thing about me. My mom is my role model. Her persistence, her tenacity, and her heart.
I second that.
Well, so speaking of that, Grandma B, I know you're listening. She gave the biggest gift of all, the gift of adoption, to Terry and Tony. So I got to say, and then I was able to, my husband, ex and I, we adopted Josh. So, we're keeping that tradition of giving back, and adoption is such a huge gift in my world. And, but role models, I would say I'm very lucky to have many role models, but definitely Papa Tony, for those of you who know, is probably my biggest role model. He's my biggest, and he's up there smiling right now. So I know we're getting closer to the end. I have one other question that I'm going to throw out at you. So if you had a choice of going to some fancy, we're talking food, wine, and travel, some fancy New York or somewhere fancy, or would you rather stay home and snuggle in somewhere locally? What would you rather do? With your family and friends.
Like more fancy.
You want fancy?
Travel, and the fancier the better.
Oh, I like it. Okay. Myree, what about you?
I have to completely agree with that. I love that. I love to travel.
Yeah.
And I am very delighted with fancy.
Fancy's good. So where would your destination be for this year? If you could pick anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I think I would like to go back to Greece. I love Greece. Santorini sounds really nice right now.
Never been there. Okay. Jodi, what about you?
I have an opportunity to go to Hawaii this fall. So I hope I am able to capitalize on that.
Well, you need to make that happen. Both of you need to make it happen.
How about you?
Tropical is always good.
Tropical is always good. I think I'd be happy. I'm actually going to be going to Burbank in a week or two with family to celebrate my birthday coming up. So hopefully I'll get some beach time in there. That would be wonderful. Who doesn't love the beach? It's not far away, but it's still good. So we're winding down. I want to, number one, thank both of you one more time. And please give us the website. How can we get hold of either one of you?
So fantastic. You can reach us on our website at www.bedbugfoundation.com. You can also call us, and I'm going to give you the 1-800 number. It's
I would love it.
556-7568. Again, that's 1-888-556-7568.
Okay, I'm going to leave you with, it's the last 30 seconds. So if you can say one word, 2 words to our listeners, what would it be to end the show with?
Seize the day.
Love it. Okay, Myree.
Have a blessed day.
And I'm going to say, remember, together we're one heart, and I'm honored to be here with you two gals. I will see you next time. It's About Town Deb McCarthy, the City Talk.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.